Once again, we're here at the McVey Law Firm in Kingsport, and I'm joined by Lee McVey. And Lee, thanks for having us out again.
Sure.
And you know, last time we talked about probate. This time we're talking about beneficiary designations. Now, that sounds kind of self-explanatory, but explain to us what beneficiary designations are.
So I throw beneficiary designations, that's sort of a generic term
Right.
that I use, but it includes, you know, a lot of your accounts like your IRAs and life insurance, those have beneficiary designations on them where you name the person that's going to get those if you pass away. But I also, when I talk about beneficiary designations, I'm also talking about a lot of bank accounts will have payable on death clauses,
right,
where you can name somebody that will get that account if you pass away. I include those in the category of beneficiary designations when I'm talking to clients and things like that.
When you talk about estate planning, that's part of that whole issue there.
Sure.
Let's talk about, when do you make those designations?
So typically you're going to make those when you open that account.
Right.
A lot of times people don't even realize they're doing it, or they don't really know what they're doing. So you start a new job, you open a 401k,
right,
and then you name your beneficiaries, who's going to receive that if you were to pass away. The problem we run into is we may have that job for 20 or 30 years,
right,
and the person we wanted to get it when we started,
you're right,
it may not be the person that we want to get it in the future.
And that was going to be my next question, because you say we need to routinely check those. I mean, I think a lot of folks make that designation up front and then they just kind of forget about it.
That's right. I run into a lot of folks that will have had a job for years and have set up those beneficiary designations when they were younger. Maybe they had kids. Maybe they didn't have kids at the time, and now they want those kids to be on the beneficiary designations. And so anytime I have somebody come in and talk about estate planning, as just a general routine, we're going to talk about, hey, who are your beneficiaries?
Right.
A lot of times they'll say, you know, I don't know, I set that up and I don't remember. And so just as a general practice, we're going to have people go and check their beneficiaries on their accounts.
Now let's say, that brings up an interesting question, because let's say that your beneficiary designation and you have a will and the two are not the same. What happens then?
So the beneficiary designation trumps the will. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of times that creates a whole lot of confusion with people about where their things are going to go. I run into a lot of things when I'm doing probate where a will conflicts with the beneficiary designation, and you have to explain to people, hey, this beneficiary designation trumps the will. The example I give is, you know, if I do a will that leaves everything to your spouse, but your beneficiary is Mickey Mouse is going to get that account if they're named as the beneficiary on the account.
I don't think Mickey needs it, so you better make sure both of them are the same.
He's doing okay. Actually, the real nightmare scenario, and there are several cases about this, is you'll have somebody that's named their wife at the time as the beneficiary. They'll get divorced, they get remarried, but they forget to go back and change their beneficiary designation, and then the ex-wife will get that whatever that account is, and as you might imagine, that creates a little bit of an issue.
A bit of an issue.
Right.
Now, how do folks go about checking, and how often should they check their beneficiary designations?
Well, that's sort of the frustrating thing, is it's very easy to do.
Okay.
You either talk to, if you have it at a bank, you just go into the bank, tell them you want to check your beneficiary designations. If you're at an investment place, you can go talk to your financial advisor and just ask, hey, who are my beneficiaries? I want to check on those and see. And even if it's a place that's not local, it's very easy just to call and say, hey, who are my beneficiaries? I need to check on those. And changing them is very easy too. A lot of times if you're at the bank, you can do it right there. They've got a form to fill out and do it. If it's far away, they might email you or fax or mail you a form that you just have to fill out, sign, and send back in. And so it's very easy to do.
Sounds like a lot of this is very simple, but it's something that really needs to be done all the way through the process.
That's right. It's very simple to do, but it's very important to do, because it's the one thing when we talk about estate planning pitfalls and probate pitfalls, it's probably the main thing that people are confused on, that they haven't checked on. And it's very easy to fix if it's a problem.
All right. We don't want any problems, and that's why you need to come see this gentleman right here at the McVey Law Firm. Thanks so much.
Sure.
It's all about beneficiary designations. If you got questions, he would love to answer them today.